Hello, today is the 16th of a new week, Monday, with the new word of the week that would be flowers and anything that would be related just to study, work, look at life, for adding this word. So instead of subjective or objective, which is obvious, we don't need to think about walking. We just put ourselves in motor and we walk. And artists know and composers what is adding, because it's what is the making of the story. And most of the time, if you really want that word to be enlightened, bloom from the other side, it's better you don't say it, but say everything around it. So they make the idea, they think about it, they bring that word on. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Um, is my favorite number, the 8 and the infinite, because of the infinite. And I send it the infinite number to Bill Gates. So for the multiverse, with the some of the rules of role playing to virtual reality, and the reason of why every company has to be united. So they don't copy, because what I have studied with the role play world in virtual reality that does not exist on any video game, and it's interactive writing with role players. So we're just a dozen, and I'm still waiting for a role player to come out of its. I mean, it's not that it has to abandon its endeavor or whatever it's doing, but sometimes I think it's times now to protect, just to pray, not protect, just to imagine there is only love, and not just from my part, but everyone who just dares to simply love, just like that, without much to add. Takes much more to come down to reality and do things. So I put the formula away and I put it here. So the formula of role play to virtual reality has also many rules that are scientifically proven. It needs a house of scientists, computer engineers, psychiatrists, maybe one psychologist, to approve these laws, but they have to role play it themselves in flesh. I mean, with their imagination. Because this is not about studying other people's behavior or animal cognitive cognition. This is about yourself. So there is no book, no entrance that will tell you how this works, unless you give yourself to it, like a flower which naturally blooms. So I just got this pajama my daughter gave me, and the pattern is full of flowers. So I'm gonna make little pillows, like hearts. So making big one, but I'm not really into making pillows for my bed, so it's already prepared the material, and I have prepared. In this season is when I start planting seeds, so I had to some things out and put there below the window, which is upstairs. So I'm ready to plant. Normally, I like to plant flowers. I plant potatoes, and is it's not a very beautiful plant, just because the potato was there with its roots. So I planted it, and it gave me 3 potatoes. I was like, well, I would love to learn how to plant food. But I think I will need more terrain. I had tried to plant tomatoes for 3 years every year. It's a plant you have to plant again. And after 3 years, I thought, wait, why don't you just plant plants that you don't have to plant again, right? No matter how many plants have been stolen, it's been broken 2 times in 5 years. Well, I am not living in a condition where you can say this is my property and nobody's going to destroy my plants or take them, because I'm doing as I may. So people of property have different mindsets, and I live like that. It was easy to do things, to just go do them, and nobody takes from your house. Well, or so I was trying to be positive. So yesterday I forced myself to go outside and take a walk. So I was like, I don't need a stone. Why do I have to go outside? And I was just pushing myself because it's beautiful, because it's nature. I don't care. I don't need to go outside. It's beautiful here as well. So I did it finally. Um, there were no stones. There were not stones. And in the way back is a big park we have here with many signs and names for the parts of the garden. It's huge. Um, it's quite funny because it's somehow nostalgic, even though it's not the place I lived here, but there are many immigrants here, so I can feel sometimes the 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 nostalgia of the immigrants. It's not when you are in your land and you feel proud of it, and even in New York City, people adapt so quickly and they feel already like New Yorkers. They don't feel nostalgia, melancholy in New York City. Most of the people that go there to New York City, they have ambition, they want to learn, they want to work hard, they want to shop, they want to go in the night, they want to have sex, they want to buy the best thing. Not too much because there's not enough space. So they would rather buy 2 quality things a year than have a lot of trash. So in New York, you get the best of the best in New York City, not in New York State. In New York State, people are slow because it's the countryside. There's any place in the world that has countryside. and they're easygoing and super slow. So slow you think you're gonna die if you're coming from New York City. And people are happy. So here here you find the gratefulness, and the dogs and the owners are so happy to chit chat just a little and just keep going, because I know what it is when you have a dog. Everyone wants to stop you. I mean, my dog had something that would take me 20 minutes to walk 2 blocks, because everybody would stop me to pet the dog. And you could be the nicest person in the world, but at some time every day would be, it's like, why don't you get just fucking dog, right? Because I'm walking my dog, not so everybody pets them, right? Because you are lonely and you need to pet the dog. So I would never say it, but that's what I felt once, and I was shocked of how much. Because I wanted to go and do my things after so many months under the same circumstance. I would always think, just go have fun and just enjoy. What's the matter, right? Nowhere to go really. I mean, I had a very lucky life where I would just make love, dance, enjoy life, um, and um, I think that's the best in life. What do you want to do? Yeah. So, and study because of pleasure as well. You like that? No big deal. Mm, my ambition was to. My sister invited me to New York City. She was there. She paid the ticket, and I paid to her. And I just wanted to get money to make the trip to England, because my boyfriend was in England. Very handsome. I was so in love. So the ticket was too pricey, and my mother would never, of course, buy it. And my sister said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna free you from mother," because she never paid us. We work for free. And so after 3 months that I made some money, and Jim, he told me that he pregnant a girl. So I didn't want to go because the baby was first, and so, well, that broke my heart, of course. But we really love each other. I know he was in Venezuela and he needed to try different things, and that's what he told me. But he could have his baby. So I already have Debbie, so it was hard for him because he wanted to have his baby. And my daughter was 2 years and a half. And well, at that, I mean, at the time, maybe she was 5 years old. So I still wanted to build a life before having a baby, and he suffered very much as well. So I didn't like how his family, when it would come to see him, it would look at me as I would need to go to England because it's a better country, and I didn't like that arrogance. So I didn't really that troubled me. That's always something that has because they come from ghetto in Leicester, like really ghetto. They would be fighting and like really ghetto. So I convinced him in our relationship to that is bad to be because his brother was in a hospital from fights and that he would do the same, and he had this temper, was red hair and a little brutish as well, but very intuitive and sincere. Our love was pure, that's for sure. So all the times when your love is so blooming and you would do anything, um, but we are not perfect either, so cannot fulfill everyone, or one person can fulfill one person, and it's hard to depend on your family and start a life with a baby, and your family can use that so you work for free. um, you love your family when you're young, and if you come from India working for love unconditionally as a teenager, I still found as a teenager in India that because there was a narrative in the air after my master Osho died. So I love the ashram and the commune and to work for free as nuns do and monks. But I also have my contradictions there because I was raised in the school of the Prince of Spain. I was raised as a top millionaire without being one because we didn't have many generations on properties. We had, but not like you don't need those standards. In Spain, we had no family at all. So being just with your mother, my father would come later and we would go see, but it's not. You feel you feel afraid. If something happens to your mother, you could, you feel afraid. You feel very dependent to your mother. So that creates a codependency as well and a fear that everything would fall down, and so much admiration as well that she can pull all this out together all alone. Uh, we and I used to look at my mother that she's still a goddess, beautiful. She would dress us as little princesses with hats and the same, so refined. But when I was 17 and Osho died, I thought, no, I don't think this is because there was a big thing about communism and hatred against the West in the air, even though it was for me spiritual because I was just watching. I would stand here and there and in meditation. I would say, well, all this you have is thanks to your sannyasins, all this beauty, all these people dancing and celebrating, all these beautiful people, aside from you really look at your followers who are many generations back in the past because they have not enhanced their potential. They're also bad in bed, they're bad in understanding, in creating a chemistry that is without. People from India are not violent, but they're very wise because they have praised spirituality a lot. And now they're moving a lot into technology and wanting to be rich and forgetting the spiritual world. They are very wise deep inside. They castrated sexuality from the Kama Sutra. No other religion. Maybe the Arabs too, of course. So, well, it needs to, I guess, recover. But what I felt deep inside, there was a clash among tendencies, spiritual tendencies, entities, spiritual entities that are gi- gi- gigantic, gigantic. Because I did love to see everyone working for free and in love, and I was like, no, this is corruption. And every time I would see the lawyer who later took all the money, of course, and I would always, when Osho was alive, was saying these people are they are selfish. They're going to destroy. They have they don't have the stamina to keep this going without taking from it. So they took all the money, not all, but partly. Brought his mansion in California. I already could see that. So why don't you put noble people there? And this is you have been as a politician just to create your fame, to have been neutral in silence, so people can have the problems and you're not involved because they make the mistakes, not you. So you never care about children, you never care about their education. Um, so uh, I was against. I was with it, but against as well. And I always felt privileged because I wasn't raised as the other children there. So I knew how this world moves, and these children were totally disconnected from reality. They grew with a lot of love. Uh, they were not raped. I mean, one was raped from one guy. It was another one. He told me, I don't know, it was a moment I just kissed her down there, the photographer. And now she looks at me like if I'm a terrible person and a monster. And I just one thing led me to another. And I didn't think well. And I was like, well, we made love. I was so you don't have to feel bad that you're with me. I am the one who chose you because I was 17, I guess. There were many guys who felt guilty for being with me, but I would go to them and say, well, for me, it's a privilege being with you. And they were very tantric as well. So I thank them. I thank them to to share with me how dirty and alone they feel, and loving as well. And there's a lot of information passing when you are with another person bare naked, and you're not just if you're just having sex, you don't go through the emotional field so much. If you're just in the motion of rage, sex, just the sexual energy. But if you're moving through other levels as well, of course, there are tricks in Tantra. There are tricks, there are magical tricks and spots in the body. It's not that you are special, everyone is born with this, but there are some techniques. There's some techniques. So there is violence too if you want. You don't have to. Some people get too bubbly, and there are many routes to Tantra, and it does not have to be with sexuality as well. It can just be through the air. As trees make love through the air, not with imaginary sexual movements. Love, blooming love in the air. For the tantrics, is the more love you make, the more you could become enlightened in the sense of being full of love already. You've made love all your life so much. You're full of love. It's not that you need to do it because you're needy or that you need to defend your position. So I wanted to talk about this, and I prepared for this week to tomorrow. I'm getting some money, some little money from Spain. They give me for being a single mother with two children. So I'm gonna buy for my kids. I'm gonna buy for my children their Christmas gifts because the I didn't even have the money to pay the taxes, so they're returning me these other books that I have sent for their Christmas. It's been very painful. It's been very painful. So in my beta, I was thinking this morning, this is why you get away, and your mind segregates this natural morphine because it's so much pain, so much pain. Looking at Hari is like, my God, so many people would wish to kill him because I think he wants to be funny, and he's not really talking bad about the royalty or his family. He could really talk a lot of things that anyone could see. But every family has their things, and everybody has their. Of course, for a royal family, you will wish better than that. Um, I don't think about Camilla and Charles. I think Charles could have as many women as he wishes, and Camilla can do with her life whatever she wants. So it is their private life, and they look fabulous. They should stop feeling guilty in their aura and just don't be afraid of what people say, and not bother or have to hide, so the love can emanate through without mercy. If people can transform into love, good. And if not, well, they can get fucked in the ass. If not, we'll protect it. I mean, all this war and abuse is because they're so anal. These kind of men that want to be in an anal sex condition feel so important. Well, creating all this pain as if makes them this pleasure. So it's not the way that you want people to surrender, because how many deaths are there? So there is a Davos convention Are they going to talk about mediators and all the tools they have to help create peace from both sides in Russia as well? Because we need our Russian fellow brothers and sisters, and I need a lot of women next to me so I can seduce a lot of men around the world. So they do as I say. Yeah, well, why not? I like fantasies. Why not? It's free. It's free to fantasize. Well, people used to pay me to have fantasies. So I was a creator of fantasies in New York City with Tantra. I was the first. I have created a lot of things in this planet Earth. I should never talk about because it belongs to the honor of the people who work there all their lives just to do that. Because I have a infinite river of ideas. I have sent a lot of letters to many places, from nanotechnology to offices. So I feel very frustrated because I'm super hacked. So I cannot really do much. I don't feel my gums anymore. My gums. Some people cut their gums, so they have the smile of a millionaire and a horse. I should make them all white as well. All white. Well, I stopped smoking. Never been really a chain smoker, but I have to quit sugars as well. I used to stop smoking on and off. I think this is sugars maybe, or the I cannot feel anymore anything at all. It used to hurt some years ago when it started uh, with colds and heat. So I guess people want to know about tricks. And I wanted to say that after the lockdown, many people who have been alone would love to have a partner and maybe travel around the world, do things with their partner besides having a lot of sex every day. Scott's Wells did. Sorry, father. I'm sorry. But I don't think it's a sin. People need to go out and celebrate life and create, create and consume and be stimulated with all these hormones that God has given us in creation. So yes, it's a beautiful, enlightening experience to be around a master where everyone is having a lot of sex and meditation and free spirited, no one judging, and people just tell you what they feel, and if they're angry, they could just talk care of it very quickly, and they hug each other, and there are no hard feelings. Not that you need to go in the media and 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 tell all your problems. But people don't want to listen to your problems. But people need to express themselves. The thing is that they don't know about fantasies, virtual reality. They don't know what's coming. So, in the interactions of real life, people are still stuck, and many would wish to do something that is totally new, but they need guidance and they need to be pushed and need to be incentivized and they need a chain reaction where the work is noted and pushed uh, in synchronicity. So there are rules for this. Uh, they are in sport. This generates a creation that is passed from one another. You can move to the sites and learn other things, and you can work in other areas, but jobs should be automatic. Just go to enter and work, just get paid automatic. All I always think looking for a job should be legal. Some jobs is for a doctor. Some jobs that really require a look, like driving a truck. Uh, Certain jobs, of course, being a receptionist, because you're representing the boss of the company. And it doesn't matter if there are 10,000 people in the company. The receptionist in China is as educated as the owner of the company, because it's how in the entrance of the mouth of the dragon in the chi, the energy that is going to enter and be remembered as it is treated. So hospitality, not everyone is made to work for hospitality. For sure. I mean, people are so nasty, brutish, selfish, rude. And not everyone has that in the flair of their family. And it's not a matter of being high class, but I don't think if a girl is being raped and the family is nice but hollow because it's gaslighting and it's having all these dark emotions underneath without understanding what's going on, it's going to be as effective as if it's true connection to the outside world. So there are many options once to pick on a partner, characters that could be around you in real life, is to formulate how many people you have to deal with. In internet, I had infinite friends. I never belonged to any group and may believe, but I would never be making a lot of characters around one. I would have two or three. Um, in the Kingdom of France, yes, because I was administrating and giving a lot of. I'm not going to talk about it because then people start to copy it and talk about it as if they did it, and is something that has to be played. So I'm never going to say anything much. So that's a problem with white people. They thief and feel proud about being pirates. That's totally white trash conditioning. And it has to do with God lucky, which is completely fine with them. Is praised. God lucky has been praised. You can change this from, is part of their DNA and the structure of their conditioning before the Christians came, is a way of thinking. Not everyone has, but they accept it. The rich, the poor, all of them. So they have the thing that no other culture has, and no other culture could understand. how bloody thirsty they can be, and fake it, like double face, like they are the perfect race the to the more educated, the worse. They can go and kill you, but they will never tell you. So for a Spanish, that's a dishonor. You would you would you would be proud to face the person and let the person know and give it a chance to, because you think in your delusional mind you are better and you will win to kill them because you have more power to kill them. So whatever you are poor or some people even do black magic in South America, not in Spain. They're rich. So there are a lot of there are a lot of connections or belief that are so ancient people don't even know where it comes from, but as a wall entity there are great forces. So I'm not going to say the Spanish are any better or any other culture is any better, because some of us have the same explorer, and they also took land and made things out of it, and have thought to read and mathematics and to be civilized and share a road to go places, so it's easier the movement, and took a lot of work and patience from so many generations. So European donors, but it is an arrogance to say that one is better is to teach and give when one is also receiving. So that one has to honor the other side as well. And the Spanish also have stolen and taken all this gold. So there's a lot of work to in the path of redemption to create mansions into villages from the colonies, especially. Americans from United States of America, I don't think they have any compassion or love. Um, they're too animalistic to even have arrogance. They even say they are the best of the world. You have to be very brutish, like not brutish, but very unconscious to say that and know the rest of the world is watching you. Because one thing is to feel you're the best of the world, another thing is to say it. To say it already makes you as an imbecile, a lawless individual who has no consciousness for every single person in the world watching you say that, because you're already putting yourself down by saying that. All the world is going to put you down just by saying that. And all the world is going to be together against you just for saying that. And no one is going to stop until you stop saying that fucking shit. So, why? Because that is something you feel and you might think, but you don't say it. Just for that. And all these wars have to end, and all these weapons. And United States of America is the example of disgrace, of mass shootings and murders. It's been like 600 mass shootings and all this, whatever, with knives. Look, 600 is an example for the world. They already see it, but So what if president of Brazil has one like in Venezuela? Because you don't know how to relate with people. You can sing with evangelists that are black and say beautiful things. and just have to be there until it ends. Bring honor for the promised land that Luther King spoke about. He knew he was not going to be there. I know that I am there. I'm going to be there. The promised land is a state of mind. It's not a piece of land. So I could convince all these Jews and Palestinians. I can convince them, but I don't have time. I don't have time to be with these people and tell them. When I was in Jordan, I convinced them. There's a state of mind to speak any land in the world. In fact, everyone should go because I'm going to put an atomic bomb because it's just slowing down the evolution of anyone who is on this planet or on this area. We just have to find other methods to just destroy that without leaving uh, parallel consequences, collateral damage. And I convinced him it's a state of mind. It's not on a piece of land. So you can't carrying all this bullshit and wars for 2,000 years. I'm going to continue bothering about that. Also, these wars for what? For power? No, you need to make friends. But of course, you would never ask Americans to have a path of redemption. They would only do it so they get votes and likes, but not because they really feel like any humanity towards another. Really? Then you will say, really? Really? No, you have to learn how to abuse. You have to learn how to abuse men, women, children, anything, and share your secrets. Because sharing secrets is so important so you can trust one another. Yes. They show that because sometimes I pray, so they show it. They show it. And you can love everyone and you wish them the best, but they keep on banging with it. They keep banging with it. So you cannot never judge a continent or a race because of a few rich fellow men and gaslighting women. It's the way of war. It's been the way of the past. It's been the way. Yeah, the way. Come here. Show me what you got. So show you the way. They all applaud to each other, so they carry the delusion. Um, it will never become. It will never become a state of ultimate creation and abundance to the top, leading to create so much power to launch space station. Space station could be built faster if all the world gets together, synchronized. You need a lot of love. You need a lot of love making. You need a lot of people opening their senses. You need a lot of people putting the rage, the violence, and anger with sharpened tools in their mind and selective order. And they have to practice a lot of interactive role play online in the fantasy world in order to move these techniques and take out all these pedophiles and liars and thieves. We really need to be happy. So the moment you die, remember these words. You did nothing at all but repeat the same bullshit. This doesn't make you the best. That makes you another bullshitter. Because no one is meant to die because of your raped little ass when you were a kid. To rape others and promote murder, trigger, destroy pipelines on both sides, because they are belong to the same cadre, the same frame of ignorance. The war has always existed. Russians don't even know how to interact and talk with each other. Democracy is in their pampers, and they talk too much for nothing. So what's the point? Lack of meditation, lot of psychiatrists who should make tests to these presidents, psychiatrists, doctors who should always be around leaders. They need to always be on check. Jordan Peterson as well. They always need to be on check because people lose their common sense and they keep dictating with the murderous tyranny of the past that has to be. When you need your anger, use it to finish with that. You use your anger to finish with that, but with one cut. You're not gonna make their soap opera talking about the same bullshit every day for years, spending your energy on others' bullshit. That is not the flame of blooming love. I will have more love watching them being tortured, but torture enough so they keep feeling the pain. Not too much. Cannot torture people too much because then they're useless. They need emotional intelligence to keep the selective order of feelings, to reason, to look for answers. Once that is lost, there is no emotional intelligence, but idiots, incels, married to the same woman, for women who are going to castrate them and make them rapists of children as well, because they come from the same roots and they share the same agreements that are not very conscious. They don't even know what they're doing, but it's in their system, in their program, in their subconscious relationship. Prostitutes say, I have taken a lot of people out of prostitution, hookers and tricks, and I never had a pimp. So, because there is an addiction as well. Um, and they don't do it for love, they do it because of lower needs, lower. Yeah, lower needs. Keeps burning and burning, but that's not. It's the best way of living if you think about it, but it's like living on drugs. I don't know what it is to live on drugs. I wanted to be an addict, but I couldn't. I wanted to be an addict, like my boyfriend, but I couldn't. Because my body would have like an allergy and like a rebellion. So The man don't understand the relationship that goes through sexuality. They should study sexuality in schools more than mathematics. But the woman has a flora inside of her that has a lot of bacteria and kills any other bacteria. So it has a lot of defenses there, and information with defenses go there as well, and is going to criticize unconsciously or consciously who is going to be with her or not as well. This is an organism that works by its own. It's not in your brain. It is totally in your instincts. And if a man wants to go and fuck the ass of a little child, something wrong with them. Something very wrong. There are many men who have not been raped, and there are some who have been raped, but don't do that to others because they know they didn't like it. And many would do anal sex to women because they were raped. Some man said my father took me in the back with 12 years old, and he told me, "I'm show you what is to be a man," and he raped me in the ass, and he never raped me again. And I heard a lot of stories that are from nice people. Neglect is worst. Neglect is worst. Now, there is nothing wrong with loving the material world and loving the creation that you can do around stimulating your emotions and heights and lows. And do you really have that energy if you could love more and more and more and be loved more and more and more to the world? To see they have food, they're dancing, they have shoes. There's so much poverty in my country right now, thanks to United States of America bringing all those guns so people kill each other. It was all over kidnaps, murders. People had to get out of Venezuela. They changed the narrative. They changed the narrative. I know. Americans, the politics of Americans are as poisonous, as sick, as fake. People don't need to know the truth because life is too short and valuable to know so much shit could ever exist in one single life. And they share it is the best. What they're doing is the best. The coronavirus is going to be the best. People will learn with their immune system. The immune system has a system of its own, correlates with another psychology that you could never imagine. Is studying the river Styx and getting to have imagination about how all these bacteria form, how we form in our biology, studying science. And there have been many stories posted that have been deleted because I wouldn't even save them. I would just put in the bulletins We used to write stories that would always be deleted after a few weeks. Say, hey, we have to keep our material so it could be tracked that we've been here before, because there is otherwise. So me and my friends started to do that. We're totally caring and just in the moment, like mandalas made of sun in the moment, colors to be blown in the air, to have that unconditional essence of being in the moment. Now the energy and the Buddha field that we shared, that was energetical field, the trees would grow 3 times faster, and the life that you live there could not be seen on a film, but to experience that blooming love. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it that this society that is partly dead and partly entertainment, because it's so boring? So unless you have your ambitions to push you to do things, right? Your ambitions, your desires, your mediative hormones. Hormones are the ones who mediate. Hormones are the mediators. Now, the construct is, as we see, our ego and narcissistic cover. So this week, I talk about the cover. Every third week, talk about the cover, what surrounds with the construct. Some of us as role players know that from doing many characters. Now, my friend had to do about narcissism because people are still not aware of their constructs. So we play roles. One of the rules of role play is that nobody should know who we are, because they have to believe in your character. You cannot tell about your other characters, because people have to. The tissue of reality is to believe as it is. You cannot mix things. There are boundaries, and these are rules that have to be respected as such. This is why I'm not role playing anymore, because I'm being hacked and they're not role playing and they're stealing my work. That was a work that I have pushed forward, so they pay me and they pay us. And I have asked for my percentage. But the person in between uh, is a brat, so he doesn't care. He does what he wants. He's too good to give a shit. He doesn't know the genius and the value in it. He doesn't see how much it can help humanity if you use these tools, these dynamics to help make a better world. But to be prepared. People don't know what is role play. They're already teaching it in schools. You don't even know what is role play. It's not just playing a character. So dishonoring me, dishonoring the work as well. Flowers or anything that is blooming, it's like it's forced. We have to make all these flowers because the bees are dying. But who values these bees, right? No, just keep online, fucking around about whatever the fuck this shit is. That makes no sense or reason to value anything at all, but what? Impact. There are ways to systematically impact all this world in the lapse of 1 second and a half. We can all see it at the same time. The only world we have respecting the political, helping one another without the disdain. So it's very frustrating, of course. So I picked a stone and I painted with this uh, nail polish, which is kind of like mermaid color. That is like a pearl, but it's see-through. So I painted it. It was the only stone in a huge park because it's so civilized. And I made a rune that I catch on internet, just whatever rune would come. And the meaning at the end was children. It's supposed to be about material and cattle, material that generates by itself, but that is related with fertility as well. Cattle. From the runes was the cattle, which is now translated to abundance in the material realm. But I think to start, because the beginning always is the it's like entering in a portal. If I cross this portal, the first step I give into the other scenario, whatever it is that I don't know, that's what portals are for, going to the unknown. And you synchronize immediately there. Like, oh, the first step you give is the wall scene. So I thought, well, makes sense as well. Just put it there. Part of like the cherry on top of the cream of your agenda. That's my agenda there. That's the blooming with the with that rune. I don't like to wear jewelry, but it's nice to look at it. Maybe a necklace, because sometimes it dresses, but love to wear nothing really. I love to see my teenagers. And my daughter Debbie is going to come in 1 month and a half. Be nice that I start working, so I take her shopping. So going to places. London is so beautiful that anywhere you go is just you get lost. I'm happy because she's gonna come alone because her husband has her for her, so uh it's like an interference with him because he's always protecting her if I say something. And it's like, say, well, we in Europe, we here people don't use the cleavage. So, and the Korean waitress was looking at her breast. I said, I'm sure the waitress is not judging you, and she sees you very beautiful. but people here, and if you see around, they're not used to see. So and in their minds it's like they're seeing you naked. And for us in South America, or I think in Spain, but for South Americans or Spanish, and people go naked in the beach. So such different cultures. So I was trying to teach her a few things that for some reason, and it's hard because you're still like the mother. I love to sleep with her when she was a girl, and my husband in New York didn't like that. So, because she was with us in our bed, and even though we married with the condition of having no sex. So it's very hard to, because you already know how people are. Why you want to marry someone that only wants you for sex, right? So it's like, okay, I'll marry you, but without sex. I am a horrible woman. Of course, some people love to have writers because they enlighten your house and tell you stories. It's better than having a dog. So it's not that I'm special, but bring good company, make the house beautiful with flowers and some decorations in the bathroom. The thing is that men are weird. They don't love your children as you would. So, and you already, I already know that. So that's why I didn't want to, because I think sex is more of a possession if you are together on and on and on. So you don't want the part of your psychic to, even though you can protect your psychic and your thinking and your informational and shield some parts, and just remain in meditation, watching when you're with someone so close, but still it's like they are guarding and they want to take because they think they own it. So it's interference with your process of, and even though they are giving you this, at this time is not worth it. I think one should be grateful and say it's worth it. I'm not very good with material as to say what's worth it. This is convenient. This is fuel. This interests me. I should sacrifice myself because of this or use this because of that. So, um, my parents did their life, so they care of themselves, and that's it. Kind of like mind your own business and enjoy your life. When it comes to creation, when it comes of the, well, I really love to sleep with my mother in my bed as well. Um, I love to sleep with my father as well. But when I was like 21, we were looking at the mountain. He said, "Would you mind to have sex with, make love with your father?" And I was like, "Father, yes, I love you very much, but you're my father." It's like I don't feel that. And I told my mother, and my mom was like, "Oh man, they're so." And of course, they like to make love, but it's just not that. It's everything. Everything is love. So it's not just about penetrating. It's also about gestating and taking care of that as it is. That's gestating by itself. And children need that love as well to be hugged, not in a sexual way, of course. It's sensory. Be nice to get to do sports again and be active. I've been so lazy, just doing nothing. I was gonna take some effort to recover the tissue of my muscles. I can recover it in 3 months. It wouldn't be as somebody who has never done exercise because the memory of the tissue is there. So it recovers very fast. The thing is to feel energetic and going out so I can generate money to get to my children. And it's very important. So that was very good because I went out and I walked. So I need reason to go out. So I don't have money to go out. So I don't go out and I don't have any reason to go out. So it's just a cycle of decadence. Cycle of decadence. It's not enough money to generate what I want. So flowers can bloom by themselves. They have their own nature. We need to watch and correct all these things that are not allowing the enlightenment of society, the enlightenment of people, the enlightenment as well is the internet. We should not be used to watch so much violence and murders, and slowly, surely, we can use this violence on better things that are more exciting, is to mediate and to get these targets where they need to go and move. So yeah, just read a little bit here from William Blake. Just to practice the English. Venezuela, for Miss Universe, got in second place, and the one who won Miss Universe was America, who is ugly as shit. There you go, Americans. Enjoy your fake winner. Nobody could believe it. Even the Miss Philippine was more beautiful than that. Well, this is part of his biography and works about his works. Is it translated here? Well, because it talks about whatever it talks about. I don't know. I just open it random. But it talks also about divine sexuality. This book. Well, I should be talking about reading this. Penny, sofa, testicles, Kabbalistic. It's kind of like some weird They would, of course, use sex as divine vision, gates, the Bulvik. They would do prayers as well before the men would finish. So, oh no, I shouldn't read this. The page was here, something that's also his biography, but not his private life. Well, spirituality and sexuality should be private more than anything, right? I guess each one is free to expose where they want if they are exhibitionists. He had also begun work upon two new prophecies entitled Milton and Jerusalem, in which Albion will arise from his couch of death. The natural of these poems will be explored in a later chapter, but it is important to note here that the two greatest of his epics were created intermittently over a period of 16 years. In fact, they were not necessarily written at all, unless Blake jotted down first drafts on pieces of paper. This book I read and it's not like something you want to film. So well, the week is starting. It is good to be positive. It is good to be positive and understand our adversaries, adversities that which have been part of our own past and formation that we have done wrong, even no one is putting us in jail for doing such things because it's being normalized and accepted. Very soon, any president could go to jail. And even though they share immunity internationally, all these corrupted people, we will soon get to a generation where we can deport them when they fly away. And these laws are effective and shared through every country. Venezuela has tragically got many presidents who flew away with millions and millions and millions from the petrols and made mansions, castles next to the La Zarzuela, next to the King of Spain in Madrid. They have stolen so much money. In many countries in South America, and people that still do that, and it's okay. It is okay. So it is not that good enough because if people have compassion, if they know the happiness they're bringing to other people, the happiness, they can have their factory and create their materials. They can have their ship and make wool or cotton or whatever it is that they can automatically work in and out. 3 hours in the factory or four as a working meditation, and then dancing, and then going to church. For me, it's very important to have my Christian. And I could see people like, my God, you grew out without Christian values because they have no, I mean, even if you don't have empathy, at least to do what is correct, you feel proud that you're doing the right thing as a good Christian. And it's not that I feel as good as Jesus giving my other cheek. But deep inside, in my arrogance, I say, I let you go because you're an idiot. So, I forgive you. And you just smile and said, it's okay. Yeah? So, like this, on and on and on. And people learn from you to be in that way. I don't consider myself a better person, but I had a better education. And I appreciate all those nuns and priests who gave their lives because they teach that to me and my parents as well. My mother would say always, because they would teach us a lot about freedom. But she would always say after teachings of freedom, but you never do to others what you wouldn't wish be done to you. That is the golden rule of freedom. There are limits. My mother especially would always say that and say, your freedom ends where the freedom of the other one begins. I couldn't understand that for many years, but she would explain me more and more. It would be an idea and a shared form of life. I don't think I'm a better person. Yes, I would have a tantrum as little, and my auntie as well. She could have been a nun, but she worked as social worker to help my grandmother and be with her. So she died virgin with breast cancer at the age in her 40s. So my auntie from another father, I love her so much. And she would teach also to be the nice person, be the good person, to not pay revenge, to give the other triggers. No, why, it's mine. I was really mad because they stole my Barbie. I said, but don't worry. And the maid, the cleaning lady, never came back. It's my new Barbie. Because, yeah, but she saw that you have like 1921 Barbies, and she may have no one for her daughter. But that's the only Barbie I love from all of them. And I was really mad. But I was 7 years old, and I think I've never been so mad in my life. Also, when they took my children away. So my God knows, maybe I'm very possessive. I think I'm very possessive from other lives, but I'm always very afraid of being possessive because I'm very afraid of what I'm capable of. So people think I'm very free and all that, but they don't know the power that I hold within. But it's not spiritual, it's also material. So it's to transform an idea into reality as well. And it's not about owning my right or that is mine as a possession, but at the same time as a key holder and a guardian to it. So a guardian that is a dragon in top of a castle or guarding the golds in a cave. So dragons and griffins, all these are guardians. My husband's last name is Griffiths, and he thought that would be, that I would like his last name. I was like, no, like Griffiths, like a little girl there taking care of. Like, no, why don't you become Placencia? I guess I can change this last name for. It's not that I'm a feminist. I love you so much. I already told him, I gave your name. You name our children. You gave them the first name, the second name, Alice, Lois, after your grandmothers. Saint, David, you gave to Saint. So Placencia is in my children and me, and he thought, oh, I thought it was because my birth certificate didn't come for me to give them my last name, and we could do that in the future because he didn't want to get married. He didn't want to work in Spain. But I was like, great, because I love my children to have the last name Placencia, which means to please God and humanity. To please God and those who please humanity. It just means pleasure. Placencia from the Latin. So I was like, no, I love you very much. It's not pleasing me to become a Griffiths. You can't go lower if you kind of like, honey, I love you. Okay, you're a superior race. You're white, and your family come from the land of dragons and unicorns. It's just, it's not my Latin. Is love to be pleased. I think it's please, please, please. He was like, you're gonna be cursed. It's a blessing. Like he looked at me like it's a blessing to have this last name because of course we have a clash of powers sometimes. I'm not a good woman to be married with. I tell many people because you have to give something that is better if you want to exchange, right? Why don't you take something that why don't you? So it's hard. It's hard. It is hard. We all have our madness, I guess, and obsessions, but makes a good reason, right? To please, which it also comes and derives from the grace. So the graces that for that which is pleasing and cheering constantly. And this is a vibration that carries an energy that is passed through not just you, but through the sunshine. And if we don't elevate our higher consciousness through pleasures, we're gonna give our power to these pedophiles with little dicks who like to steal and are have a white flat ass. They're like, come on, guys. I mean, why don't you get your sexy barbarians out there? Yeah? Why don't you give them some power? Doesn't matter. They're beautiful, beautiful white people. I'm just obsessed. My mother is like blonde blue eyes, so they have better things as well to bloom with and feel enlightened. Not everyone has a flat ass or a little dick, right? Or fucks children. Hello. So all these mediators, can you imagine? Not just the ones who are born here and are migrants, but to have the intermingling here in these nations which are European with these immigrants, so we can travel with them, pick a mansion into a village, and support all those people who have a narrative online that are willing to help make peace. A narrative that is going to be directed and chosen from higher authorities, the technocratics around Putin, technocratics around each president or leader, and they can see the because there are technical drafts that you compose. You just don't compose like that. Is like playing for chessmate. So we need the capitalism and the communism to merge, but we need to accept both narratives. It's not about supporting rebels or insulting, as Biden has insulted South America with the new president. The king went to the king of Spain went to congratulate him. So America will never have power over the world unless in South America. There is nothing that is going to stop people from doing whatever they want with their country. But if you do not know how to make love, honey, you could never penetrate anything unless it's out of rape. And we need to elaborate all forms of creation and mediation, from artistic forms of role play, not only in virtual reality, but in human interaction. And there is a lot to say. There is a lot for me to give. Sometimes it's enough to say enough, enough. How many people in destruction you need to see? How much we need to change these values of investing in nuclear weapons. Virtual reality is going to be on top of the league for all those who are in the first generation putting their feet on. So I haven't heard anything about the cookies and the piece of cake on my part. So you can keep sucking your own dick if you want. I could give a shit about your brother and what he talks about you and your little bitch who only knows how to wave her hand and push others. So she is the queen. Could imagine how people are really like, that's not the way to be. So disgusting. So imagine how much goodness you can really provide to the world. And the younger generations deserve that. It will never be fun if you're next to a piece of shit. You have to hide with your microphone as it is your dick, and you love yourself and you love your voice. There is your connection to breathe again, because everything is obstructed around you. To get out, to share your love to everyone, your energy. And I don't only say metaphysically, but historically, that in 3,000 years they can say it started with this person. That's how it all changed. Because it stopped talking about his brother bullshit and This middle ranger, he hates so much because he married one. It's worthless. So how are you going to share what you know, what you really know? 3,500, 3,500 videos on narcissism when you know so much about the interactions of role play and you abandon role play to be in YouTube. You don't give a shit about money because you already have money. You just do it for what you gotta do or for what? Because your daddy says that I will find my destiny somewhere. I am called to be a better for Venezuela someday, with my family someday, that I have my destiny to do good somewhere else. Your father doesn't know a fuck about role play and virtual reality and what goes online and all the hacks and the copies and the crime that is existing until date, the thievery, which is not moving anything. With this attitude, nothing can happen. It's going to be stand by until your flat ass gets rounded. So you are going to need a lot of spanking to learn and to do, but psychologically as well, is to move on away from your microphone, just like your dickhead. Like you're sucking your own dick there. You love yourself so much. There is no better company than yourself to be with. So you keep there and you just write words and talk about all these words and compose very quickly with all these words that you take from all others. Just words and very sharp. So of course it's very smart to open up this channel and get to all this influence in the construct of narcissism, as is the construct of all the characters. Oh gosh, but there is so much more. Whatever they do in Davos, and how much is to appreciate those who can mediate. They will never be sold because of their freedom of speech. They would like to clarify some questions and they would like to move on doing something which is meaningful, not just complaining about people who have money, right? But if people are hiding behind talents and not bringing their youth, their own descendants, their own bloodline, strangers, people who've studied for that, people who've never had money, people who want to make their locality better, but they don't know because they never danced with strangers. They never got to disappear in the dance floor with the multitude. They never got to just jump until there is just the music and the movement and children dancing as if it's the Garden of Eden. So how can you dance knowing all the miseries in this world? How can you be talking to your dickhead? knowing that people don't change by just listening. People can only take awareness in the action. I can try little by little, but like this little stone. So it's not that I really want to paint stones, but I want to push myself out to something. But really do. I don't want to be talking to the air like everyone is doing. I want to move with the energetical field that's greater than fuel. And I want to give my full formula away for for you who can handle it. Because first you know it, and second you have the right dictionary to move all these words. Gosh. All right. So I forgot. I have some things to do now. Um, just write some words. It's funny that the somebody can come to me and I can give all this work. That is the first step. So I'm training, I'm praying towards that. The queen must be laughing in joy for everything she left that has very strong foundation, and for her commonwealth as well to be well taken care of, and all those friends and allies. And for those who do not know, do not fear that they won't be treated as enemies. It's sad that Putin doesn't want to honor the royal family they murdered and recover the history that they have, this burden and trauma, because this is resentment that carries on. So they want something they can't have. It can be in Ukraine, it can be in lands, it can be in people that want to move away from communism. And freedom doesn't come because of wars. Those are mysteries that are being played from long ago, for who knows, before we were born. So we can find each other and hug each other again and again and again, to know that nobody can take your story because you already did that story first. Uh, when it comes to launching this work, everyone had to agree and respecting their settings. It will never happen if you are obligating others to do as you may, because then you are becoming the pedophile again. And in countries like in Venezuela, we have 4 women, up to 7, fighting for 1 man. There is a lot of sex. in Venezuela. And if you want to be with one, good. You want to, the women are very beautiful and they love their man till death, and they will kill for their men. And men don't need to go to children because they have a lot to do already. So you could never, with a mentally of a pedophile, try to suppress a Venezuelan man. So you have to understand the psychology, and they're very nice people. These ones that are on power are very emotional because come from very low class, and they show their hatred very easily. There's a lot of prepotence. Um, you cannot persuade someone who does not know what you're talking about. So it takes time to show and prove what it is. And to move with democracy, it doesn't mean that they're going to be owned by you, because you are the last country on this earth that any South American will want to be owned by. Because the history of North America with South America is still very latent, fresh. There has been too many deaths, and the world does not know it, but we know it. And my father's work was to unite whole South America together and love itself, have a self-esteem, but from the political backbone to and the people. The Europeans are not better, the North Americans are not better. They have stolen all this money and supported all these people who have stolen it so they can keep suppressing it, or because they don't know how to handle this, right? Are you going to invest on countries so they become poorer, or are you stupid? There is a problem there that needs to be defined. Or everyone is stupid. Well, this is the history that has come to this story right now, right? And I'm the only one who knows how it's going to move on, because you don't know a shit about South America. So step back and take care of your fucking country, your masses of destruction, your cataclysms, your thisms, your drug addicts in the streets, and your people, and your ass, and your dick, and your skeleton. So you don't walk like a ghost, and you're felt from your heart because you're alive. And you have seen the light of the living. For the first time in your life. That it has value beyond your little dick and nose. It has a greater value than you've ever thought. And the dying people in Ukraine as well. And anything you think to take over is going to return back in your ass. And you're still going to feel nothing. You have to say thanks to the colony as well, to United Kingdom, who has class, to Europe, who is not killing each other. And you're gonna stop all these guns and be waste behaviors and respect children and teenagers' sexuality. Otherwise, no, that even if you know what life is by now, you're gonna be forgotten and use as toilet paper for the next one to do the job because you didn't. You didn't. So you want a better story? What better story is than that? Huh? What better story it is than that? The people can see it that is happening. Who cares if you come from the right side or the left side, as long as you both coordinating together so much that is needed. What America has? Many role players. Has great potential of celebrating characters and the arts of role play as no other country. A few in United Kingdom, one in Germany, a few other in Canada, but two Venezuelans. One is me. There are more now, but this is the best from the American people. I did a mistake to send it to Bill Gates, and I knew that if that mistake becomes a mistake, which is a probability, I will have to do it the hard way. That would work because he will steal it and copy it because he's another asshole who needs to come down on his knees and say to himself, my God, I am little compared to what's coming because this is gonna work automatically everywhere. And whatever genius I thought to be is nothing compared to the work that is required from so many that you could never do alone as a thief. Piece of shit. So you will think if you want to pee on your knees, in your pants, and eat from the shit that you are creating with that excrement that is falling from your upper legs into the soil and rub it all over your body. Yes, to feel the soil as well. Hunkering with your knees and take it from all that you create, because that's the only thing you create is shit. You could not do anything without the rules of roleplay and the creators of roleplay. And I demand some respect because you cannot do anything with your shit. You don't have the whole game, how it works. You need everyone on board. The Russians, the South Americans, and respect fucking South Americans. You don't know how to mediate with South Americans because you think to be the best in the world. You think you own rights to take from my work as well, but this is work from others you're gonna pay for. So consider yourself if you want to keep playing with your website and what you're doing. What you're doing is nothing compared to this work. It's gonna multiply and ripple in the lapse of 1 second and a half. Because when one agrees in South America, everyone agrees. And that mediation is mine, from my people. Take your guns out of this war. Stop killing people. Who cares what land is this? What name it has, from who it belongs? No matter what you say in the news, the world knows because they do not want a third world war, but they want you to stop being an idiot. There are innocent people in Ukraine who have to fight because they have no way out. They cannot get out of their country. It is illegal for them to get out of their country. They can only think of killing because they've been trained to pay revenge for a land that is not even theirs. They are under your pedophile thinking of mass murder and abuse and lies to take over a world that doesn't want you and will never want you. Not like that. So, as NATO is meeting as well, the military, and United Nations is meeting on the 19th. When is it gonna? In February, to deal for peace. So the narratives can split in parts. Russia cannot be judged or Putin as crime of wars because then it's never going to be a peace deal. So if you're still fighting for that land they took, there is never going to be a peace deal. So why are people in United Nations spending their time talking for a peace deal if you haven't given the right script? What are they going to talk about? They're just going to talk whatever they want? Isn't it clear, the mathematics? Yes? So we're going to have what? 19 years of war. Yeah! Bravo! Because we give it on the hands of imbeciles to think for us. Yeah! I belong to you. I work for you. That's why I'm going to say this. Yes! I'm your little raped girl. I'm better than mommy and anyone. Yes, I'm from NATO. I'm from NATO. NATO. How much is your net worth? There's so many people running away from Europe, like saying, fuck that. You really start to think about it. Do you really want to be connected to this? I'm gonna go to make love and dance salsa in my country, man. I don't have sex since I came to Europe, and I'm treated as if I am the lowest class. It's ridiculous. For why? Like people, if you really think about it, what? Because they have European buildings. I mean, what is the illusion that this is a better country? This is people get attracted because there's all these buildings and all, and it's gonna be better, and they're gonna be richer, and yeah. Look at my. I do want a truck from Telsa to put all the role players and make a film and share flowers around the world or role play to film about a documentary. How did it start and how it was? So that nobody knew their faces. There are many who are still unknown, which is funny if they knew who is who. It breaks your heart. It breaks your heart to know who is who sometimes. Breaks your heart to pieces. People you love dearly. You love dearly. So many. Because you are so creative when you are relating through the arts of writing and how people treat each other in real life. It's just so poor and disgusting. How people talk to each other when if you live in a world of fantasy, And you really get to study to elaborate this story. Now everything has stopped because it's the way it works. So it's not stolen. We're not stupid. We know what we did. We have created. So we had nothing and we can still have nothing. Silence. No plays are being noted because no plays are being done. Don't think people are so stupid. That would be your greatest mistake. They might be ignorant to an extent or not use too many words in real life. Maybe they have better words when they are writing, but it's not in their neck. The nerve system should be role playing right now. I should have invested to just keep working to get my children. I have done that as well. I have not been living in a fantasy world, but the energy has been consumed and been taken away. So I demand respect and honor towards this work. You can do whatever you want with your private life. I don't care. Flowers bloom because they bloom, because it's in their nature. But I have my interest for the promised land. So you show it to me. It does not depend on me only, so it's very important to honor priorities. Only that can allow a lot of blooming and flowering at the same time. So be it. Right? Bye. Enjoy the week of flower for that which composes us and covers us as our structure, not just in our narcissism, but our empathy, and both. Bye. Together as one. Don't worry if you are the narcissist or the empath. Both both of everything that composes our symphony and respecting our boundaries to honor the sequence in which we enter. Yeah. So we can stop talking about nonsense and just creating content and start to show the work while celebrating what we're doing constantly. Yes, it has a script of its own. It has a numbering of effects that will succeed and bring consequence to one another. You don't need to study too many degrees to understand the consequences that can lead into space, outer space, and the consequence that nobody needs. Nobody needs miseries to change. Whoever believes in that, you can believe anything and share any reality as if it's the only true. You're never going to stop being the richest person on this earth because people have goodness. People want what is good for the locality. If people need to work on the earth, people will work on the earth, but they also deserve to dance. They also deserve to have an artistic work. People are not going to stop working because they have more wealth. People will work as in the commune, but not for free. They have values as well, and they also care for their children and generations and their women's freedom. But freedom not to be resented and ugly or condemning man. No, the opposite. To embrace men, to make them as the gods that we need. Because what is a goddess without a god? So, what is a god without the Bible? Or what is the Bible without a god? So, I have only seen charity and goodness, the happiness of giving with the Christian world beyond the self. I don't say that everyone is good in the Christian world. I think I am extreme empath, but also I have a lot of arrogance, and it could be also super narcissist because I celebrate selfishness and I could care less about what people consider good because I have other ways of feeling. I can understand the victim and the murderer, and I don't want them to be stuck as I was. From being murdered so many times. You can remember or imagine, just imagine that you were also a lion and could go there to the hen and kill it and eat it. Guess what is yours. You can imagine all these animalistical. You can role play them as well. Nobody needs to know. It's supposed to be private and sacred. Nobody needs to do therapy on the yellow press, talking about others. So we can move away from it as long as we invest on this. That we can wake up and just do that and film it. And just go. And at the same time, people have their other mission. They want to find the best sexual partner that they can understand them as well without needing to feel interference or being capable of facing the problems of their own that they have created and they still create. Because this is sickness where the point is going to dictate the direction, and it's dangerous, of course, to say that the work is not concluded. So it is dangerous because the work has not matured to its continuous climax and understanding. We earn this celebration to our children and teenagers, not just to conquer the world, but to conquer the self, to conquer the dance floor, to conquer each other until last breath when we make love, not just because it's there or because I am the best one, I'm yours, I've been only for you. That's selfish love. That is not real love. That is in a little there just to be utilized as such. It's not beyond the self for others. So people need to become more empathic and narcissistic, understand their own narcissism and the narcissism of others in order to mediate better and role play better with all the characteristics that exist, not just from every culture in this world to be studied and played in fantasy fiction, but also supernatural and creatures and entities whom don't exist, role play as animals, but to not get stuck on it, because that's the ego again. That is the selfishness which is limited as imbecile you can be. Because the greatest possession is to disappear in it. We are so lost in the play. God, have a good day, everyone. No, it's 10:15. So many people working so hard, so hard to keep praying so we have a good time for the coronation in May and get out of this drama. It's hard to not click on it. Bye. Enjoy your inner flowering and whomever you are, you know who you are with one another. Bye.